Hello everyone and welcome to another video. If you have a Sony APS-C camera, your options for long telephoto zoom lenses are somewhat limited. Thankfully, what is available can be really good, just like this 70 to 350mm f4.5 to f6.3 OSS lens. Let me show you what I mean. This large piece of glass was released in 2019 in an effort from Sony to round out its lens lineup for APS-C sized sensors. It's a hefty boy that weighs in at around 600 grams, which is about 21 ounces. It is 16 centimeters long when it is zoomed out all the way to 70 millimeters, and it trombones out quite a bit as you zoom all the way out to 350 millimeters. Then the lens measures around 20 centimeters, which is a little under 8 inches. Here's the lens hood that it comes with. It's made from plastic, nothing to write home about, and the filter size is 67 millimeters. The lens mount is made from metal and has a small weather sealing gasket. Yet the rest of the lens is mostly made from plastic. It does not feel overly cheap, but what the plastic does help with is the weight. Otherwise it would be even bulkier than it already is. The zoom ring, as you can see, is a little stiff. I cannot zoom in and out evenly, and there is also this locking switch which is supposed to prevent zoom creep, but as you can see, if I just disengage it, it's not going to move on its own. This is so stiff that I think this lens has to be in the field for many years for this to ever become an issue, if at all, really. This is a very stiff and uneven zoom ring. It's also quite large, which stands out even more when you consider that the plastic focus ring, which is a focus by wire system, is so small. I wish they could have shrunken that down a little bit, make this a little longer, but this is really just nitpicking. As this is a Sony G lens, you have a customizable focus hold button here on the side. I usually have it set to advanced autofocus modes on my a6700, but of course you can set up basically whatever you want with it. It's very practical. We also have two switches, the autofocus manual focus switch, nothing to say here. We also have this OSS switch here, which is very helpful because we are dealing with very long focal lengths here and we need every little bit of help we can get. Here's some footage with OSS turned on and now turned off. As you can see, neither was perfectly stable, but it does make a difference, especially at 525mm equivalent. This is a very long distance. As this is a lens for APS-C sized sensors, the actual field of view we're getting is more akin to 105 to 525 millimeters, making this lens excellent for hobbyist wildlife enthusiasts, I found. The only other lenses that Sony offers that cover a similar or longer range are much larger and more expensive full-frame lenses. Autofocus turned out to be snappy and reliable, and it's silent enough for video work as well. No issues here that I could point out. The big handicap for this lens is the dark maximum aperture of 4.5 to f6.3. In practice, we only benefit from the f4.5 when we are zoomed out to 70 millimeters. As soon as we turn that zoom ring, it quickly darkens to 5.6, and then at around the 200 millimeter mark, we're down to f6.3, and we do not have a lot of light to work with. If you're shooting especially fast-moving subjects in suboptimal lighting conditions, indoor sports, or birding on a cloudy day, these are not really feasible with this lens. But if you have a decent amount of light available, this lens will give you tack-sharp photos all across the zoom range and at its widest available aperture, even if that aperture is a little dark to begin with. I had this lens with me on hikes throughout fall and winter, and I was able to get some very impressive shots with it It pairs really well with the Sony a6700 and it's substantially lighter than a full-frame setup, all while giving me results that I'm thoroughly happy with. The difficulty with a lens such as this one is finding the right shutter speed. You need to not only adjust for the speed of your subjects, but also your own movements. Even with OSS enabled, 525mm is kind of difficult to handhold, which is why a lot of these photos use shutter speeds upwards of 1/500th of a second. If you happen to own the Sony 55 to 210mm kit lens, or perhaps you are comparing the two to determine which one is right for you, I made a video about that older telephoto lens on my channel as well, if you want to check it out. I would like this lens to be just a little faster. f5.6 would be amazing when it's a little cloudy outside, but alas, it's still arguably the best long telephoto zoom lens for Sony APS-C cameras. If I were to upgrade this lens in the future, it would have to be a full-frame lens, such as the 100 to 400G Master, but as this lens costs way over 2,000 euros and the Sony 70 to 350mm can be easily found for around 600 euros, I think I will be using this particular lens for a very long time. In summary, the Sony 70 to 350mm f4.5 to f6.3 OSS is an excellent option for when you want to get close to your subject and get sharp, reliable photos in good lighting conditions. If you have a Sony a6100, 6400 or 700, this is the long telephoto lens to get. It is not perfect, but it strikes an impressive balance between portability, practicality, and affordability. So I have no issues recommending it to fellow bird or landscape photographers such as myself. But that's it on my part. If you want to see more lens reviews such as this one, make sure to check out my channel, and if you like what you saw, I would appreciate a comment below as well. Whether you have a question for me or just want to share your opinion, I'd love to hear from you. I hope I see you next time, and until then, have a wonderful day.